Guys, your buddy Subby and Greenscale here again today for another fun-filled day of Magic playing, and today I'm bringing back an old favorite of mine, something that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen multiple times, but I don't care. Here is the deck list. Let me change it. There we go. There is a couple things I'm going to change here real quick, just because, yeah, these lands, that one actually, I can drop that. Hold on guys, give me 1 second. Okay, I know what cards. Okay, so this one we can drop down, and this one we can drop down. That way we can keep the Aiganjo Seat of the Empire. And next we're gonna go lands. And let's see. Let's do... Here, I'm gonna save myself even more trouble, because these are the lands that I actually really like. We'll do 2 there. We will do these 2 and these 2. Alright. So, pretty much the main goal of this deck is... You want Dada to help? Okay guys, I do also have to take care of my daughter, so please forgive me. Yeah. Here we go. Do. Yummy yum. Yeah. Alright, so pretty much the main goal of this deck is you want to go through what's known as the dungeons, which are these 3 cards right here. The one that I don't worry about is the Tomb of Annihilation, because I don't need to worry about going through all 3 dungeons. But the dungeon... Yummy treats. The dungeon that I go through first all the time is Lost Mine of Phandelver. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm so bad at pronouncing things. Mainly because it's one of the it's the second shortest dungeon if you think about it, because Tomb of Annihilation you can just go through 3 rooms in total. It's just the second room, as you can see, Oubliette. That one only affects your side, whereas the other side of the Tomb of Annihilation, with going through the 4 rooms, that affects each player, aside from Cradle of the Death God. And then after I'm finished with Lost Mine of Phandelver, I go through Dungeon of the Mad Mage, consistently. Cookie, yeah, that's my little girl, guys. I go through the Mad Mage dungeon consistently afterwards, because it just has the most value and for what the deck does. Speaking of which, this is one of the cards, Kick in the Door. It's one of my favorite venture cards, just because it gives, for 1 red, you can give the creature you just summoned, which normally creatures, when you summon them, Cookie. That is recording. Yeah. You found it. So Kick in the Door is just like that nice little red 1-drop that's like, oh, I just played this creature, I want to swing with it. Oh, here's this card. I have the mana. All right, cool. It doesn't always work out. That's why I only have it as a 2 of. And then, like, the main hitters of the deck are going to be Triumphant Adventurer. He's a 1/1 Death Touch, and as long as it's your turn, he has first strike. Mickey Mouse. And then whenever he attacks, you venture into the dungeon. Yeah, be careful. And then you got Nadar, Selfless Paladin. This is another one of those, when he attacks, you venture into the dungeon, but he also has an ETB of entering into the dungeon. And then once you complete 1 dungeon, he gives all your creatures +1/+1 besides himself. but I promise you that might not always matter. And that is because of this little card, Mirror Box. This is also a very, very rare and mythic rare heavy centered deck. I do apologize. It's pretty expensive on Arena, whereas I don't think the cards are really that expensive aside from maybe the lands and a few creatures and or planeswalkers. But the Mirror Box says that the legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control, which means that you can have multiple copies of whatever legends you run in the deck on the battlefield at the same time. Otherwise, what the legend rule is pretty much like, how do I say this? You know, like, for any Yu-Gi-Oh player who's watching, any card that says you can only have one of this, hi Mila, one of this on the field, or you can only, like, what was it, Flame Wall Administrator, I think it is, where it's like it gives 800 attack to all your Link monsters, but you can only control one Flame Wall Administrator. That's pretty much how the legend rule works in Magic for every legendary permanent, not just creatures. It's lands, enchantments, artifacts, excuse you. And then Mirror Box gives a +1/+1 to each legendary creature you control, and then for each non-token creature you control, they get +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as the non-token creature. So ergo, like, let's say I had one Mirror Box in play, and I had two Nadar the Selfless Paladins, right? Nadar would get +1/+1 from the Mirror Box, and then he would get +1/+1 from the other Nadar being in play with him. It's pretty busted, not necessarily like the best thing, and I'm getting kind of along with this, but I really do want to I want to kind of explain better. I've been really bad at explaining how cards work, and I'm just trying to get better at that. So those really, it's Mirror Box and the Venture, but another really key card is Ishin Two Heavens as one. He's a 3/4 human samurai that says if a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Hence why I have Mirror Box, because the more of him I have in play, the more my attacking creatures venture into the dungeon triggers trigger. You know, it's really, it's so much fun. And then the other two kind of key important cards, hi Mila, are the Wandering Emperor. She's a 4-drop white planeswalker for 3. She has Flash, which means that you can cast her at any time you can cast an instant. And as long as she entered the battlefield the turn you cast her, you may activate her loyalty abilities at any time you can cast an instant. So she has Flash, and her static ability gives her loyalty abilities Flash for the turn that you played her. And then as you can see, you know, +1, -1, -2. +1, put a +1/+1 counter up to one target creature against first strike and until end of turn. And then you got -1, you create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. As you can see, it actually showcases the tokens and whatnot. That's another cool thing I like about Arena. And then her last ability, -2, is exile target tapped creature, and then you gain 2 life. And then the other planeswalker that's very important for this deck that's not necessarily used a lot is Zariel, Archduke of Avernus. This is actually a lot of these cards I'm using are from the set known as Adventures into the Forgotten Realm, which is a stop. It's a magic. It's a world in D&D where, you know, this is pretty much the main basis of all D&D campaigns is Adventures into the Forgotten Realm, and Zariel is obviously Archduke of Avernus, which Avernus is one of the 9 hells in the whole world of Forgotten Realms. But I like using her because, one, her plus is pretty nice when you just summon creature and you want to swing in with it. It gives all your creatures +1/+0 and haste until end of turn, which haste negates the summoning sickness, which is what I was explaining earlier, where creatures, when they enter the battlefield, they can't do any sort of tap actions, which means they can't attack or tap for, like, let's say add mana and whatnot. And then her 0 ability is you create this little 1/1 red devil creature token right here on the right of the card. And it says when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And then finally, -6, you get an emblem with at the beginning of the first combat phase on your turn. Or at the end of the first, At the end of the first combat phase on your turn, untap target creature you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Yes, that ability can stack with the emblem. So if you have 3 of her emblems, what's happening? That they're recording. That they're streaming. But yeah, so after the first combat phase, you get an additional combat phase. And let's say you just have like 3 emblems, 3 of Zariel's emblems. That means you get 4 combat phases. Mind you, the untap trigger only happens at the end of the first combat phase. So you have to have some things, like Sparring Regimen. It's a 3-drop white enchantment that when it enters the battlefield you learn, which is another mechanic I won't go heavy into in this video because this is more of me showcasing the venture mechanic again. And then whenever you attack, you put a +1/+1 counter on 1 target attacking creature and you untap it. That is pretty much the lowdown. I'll do a little bit of a deck tech after a couple games. And let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay, guys. All right. Oh, the waiting. Oh. Mila? Mickey's over here. Oh. Oh, no, not keeping. Man, my deck hates me today. We're gonna go ahead and put village rights down. Oh, so I'm also gonna do a little bit of teaching as is. So you can only play 1 land per turn, guys, as you can tell. So once I go ahead and play this, if I had an additional land, if you didn't notice last turn, if you have an additional land, you can't play another land unless a card or effect says otherwise. And talk about amazement. Nice. Be careful. So we're going to go ahead and get environmental sciences. And yeah, there we go. Oh, the enchantment deck. Wow, okay. I'm gonna need another red. I'm eventually gonna need another white too, but right now... We're going to go ahead and create a treasure token. And yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually sack the Shambling Ghast, create another treasure token. So I'm gonna get 3 treasure tokens, and then, wow, talk about a freaking pull there. Yep, that's okay. That's okay, because if I get that, dang it, I can't get another white. Why not? Should have went for the white. Sorry about that, guys. We'll ignore that message. Man, this is a really bad matchup for me today. Holy crap. Normally I do really good against this deck, but okay, fine. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna concede. There is way more white mana in this deck than there is red, and I should have went for the white mana. I didn't know I was gonna get another red. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. So bad today. Yanni. What the? Oh my gosh. Fine. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Not even gonna try. Oh, the pull. Ah, that was awesome. Leave it alone. Leave it alone, please. No more. Leave it alone. Come on. Okay. I swear this deck is not... It gets exiled. Are you dumb? Oops. All right, let's get some venturing going on here. Let's see. There we go. That's... I can't believe he tried to get... He wasted that spell. That was so bad. That's fine. You can have that. Okay, so you're not gonna swing in with the... You're stuck? Come on, sir.
I know where you're stuck.
Your go, Mr. Blue Player.
I know where you're stuck.
You really stuck? Okay, well. Oh, nice. Okay.
Mama, one more. One more. Hey. Lessons. 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 Where? Where? Oh. Bill.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Go ahead and pick your card, sir. Thank you. Taking your sweet time there. We're gonna go ahead and sacrifice that treasure token. And yeah, see, you kind of, I hope you guys kind of see. Oh, I got somebody watching. Hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, we're gonna do one more game, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of a deck tech, kind of explaining the other important cards and the deck. Wow, I can't believe I'm actually going to be doing. I'm actually having fun on Arena for once. By the way, who's ever joined in, thanks for joining in. Say hi. What brought you to the stream today? Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I can dig this hand. I can dig this hand. We're gonna see. I don't know yet. I don't know. It all depends. You are lame, and this deck is lame right now. Yeah, no blocks. Are you serious right now? Really? Get rid of that. Oh. No. I need my lands. Just one more red or one more white mana. Red would be way more fun and useful though. That is not what I asked for, but it'll work. Wow, okay. And that actually, nice. Thanks, man. Good game. And see, yeah, that is literally how the deck can snowball somebody. That is going to be the last game. I am very sorry, my viewer. I am so sorry. I totally would have been playing a little bit longer, but I was just doing this for a Discord friend, to be completely honest. But going back to the deck, so we got iTwitch. It's a 1/1 flying iBat for 1 black. Yes, I said iBat. Yeah, I know. With when it dies, learn. So the way learn works is, you either get the choice of going through your sideboard for a lesson card, or you can discard a card from your hand to draw a card from your deck. And these are what the lesson cards are. It's kind of a toolbox type of thing. And then Shambling Ghast, 1/1. You guys saw how it works, but I'll explain it. It's a 1/1 zombie that when it dies, you either give -1/-1 to an opponent's creature, or create a treasure token. And then you got Village Rites, which is 1 black, and as an additional cost to cast it, you have to sacrifice a creature, and it draws you 2 cards. And then you have Kick in the Door again, one of my favorite red spells that came out in Adventures of the Forgotten Realms. And then you got Deadly Dispute. This is another Village Rites spell, but you can sacrifice an artifact instead of you can also sacrifice an artifact instead of sacrificing a creature. And then it draws you 2 cards, and you create a treasure token. So it's kind of like a 1-up of Village Rites, both in mana wise and value down on it. And then you got a Braid, which is 1 red and a generic. You choose one, either 3 damage target creature or destroy target artifact. As you can tell in that last game, that red black deck, that the anvil that I destroyed of his, that is a very key card in that deck, and the minute you get rid of it, there's nothing that deck can do if they don't have another one. That's why he also said good game and conceded the minute I literally was going to snowball him. And then you got Triumphant Adventurer, again, little 1/1 black-white. It is expensive mana-wise for 1/1, but with the value you get from it, if you can keep it in play, as you can tell with the last game, just having one of him in play is really devastating if it starts snowballing the dungeons. And then again, Nadar, Selfless Paladin. He is actually one of my favorite dragon characters that exists in Adventures of the Forgotten Realm, and he's also one of my he's one of my favorite typings of creatures. I love dragons. If you couldn't tell by the name, Greenscale, by the way. And then again, Sparring Regimen, just a 3-drop enchantment. I don't think you guys really got to. Maybe you did. I don't think you guys got to see this card really go into action today, but that's okay. Not every card gets this day, you know. Ishin, Two Heavens as One. You guys saw literally how destructive he can be. If I'll get to you guys when I get to that card about what I meant with that one game. It would have been very destructive if I had completed a dungeon that game. Then you got Mirror Box, and yes, yeah, you guys definitely got to see how that card played, and it could have been a lot worse. And she did a very well job in one of those games, even if I didn't win, but that's okay. And Zariel, Archduke of Avernus, you guys got to see this card get wrecked. That's kind of my luck with these guys. And then last but not least, Barrowin of Clan Under. This is actually the last card for the venture mechanic in the deck. When she enters the battlefield, you venture into the dungeon, and then whenever she attacks, you return up to one creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield if you completed a dungeon. So that game where I had 2 of him in play and 1 of her, if I had completed a dungeon and got to it in time, I would have been able to snowball through 2 Shambling Ghast into play just to be that guy. And then as for lands, Igandro, Seed of the Empire, and it's another, again, with the legendary rule, you can only have 1 legendary permanent with the exact same name, and so it doesn't have to be the same the same being perchance. Like, you can have, let's say there was another copy of Nadar, like Nadar Undead Paladin. Like, let's say there was an undead version of Nadar. I could have both Nadar Selfless Paladin and Nadar Undead Paladin in play. That's my way of kind of explaining. Again. And then you got the basic lands. There's another thing that I wanted to say is, as it comes to lands are very important for building decks. This is to all my newbies and beginners of Magic. Lands are a very, very key, important role in building your deck. The higher the mana cost of spells you have in the deck, generally the more lands you want, which means you're running less non-land cards in deck. And then you have, it's the plains, swamps, and mountains. These are the basic lands that I was adding earlier. And then Bright Climb Pathway is a really awesome card because it's either taps for white or taps for black. You choose the minute you play the card. You don't get to flip in between. There's no chance. Once you play it on Grim Climb Pathway, it is going to be that pathway for the rest of the game. And then you got Shattered Sanctum. This land is what I think the community is calling the slow lands. They're more like, there's these lands called fast lands where they come into play untapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Is it 2 or is it more than 2? I think it's 2. So no. As long as it's the 3rd land, it comes into play untapped. These ones say as long as it's the 3rd land, they come into play. Sorry. As long as this is the 3rd or higher land, these ones come into play untapped. The fast lands come into play untapped unless they're the 4th or more land. I think that's how it works. Don't quote me, guys. And then you got Haunted Ridge. This one taps for red or black or red. And then last but not least, Sundown Pass. I'm not going to go through the pathways but if you guys really want to see them, this one's black or red, and then this one's red or white. But that is the deck. And for the sideboard, again, just environmental sciences. Start from scratch. This is another help me destroy an artifact if I need to. And also, if it's that one last damage, or let's say they just have like a really annoying creature with one toughness, Bolt. Not Bolt, but Bolt. And then last but not least, Mascot Exhibition. This is the most expensive card between main deck and side deck. And this one also produces 3 tokens. This 2/1, this 3/2, and this 4/4 all at once. It's freaking awesome. But that, my guys, and my fellow viewer, bad day. Good day. That is going to be the deck. That's going to be the stream. Thank you for joining in, viewer. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please hit that share button. Please hit that subscribe button. And please give me a like. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps me get noticed. And y'all have a very wonderful and filled magic day.